Olaf Scholz came into power just a year earlier, okay? In late 2021. So those statements are extremely dangerous. And then you had the statements by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Germany's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who said openly at the Council of Europe and said, she said, we are fighting a war against Russia. We are fighting a war against Russia. And then she said, we have to do it together. Now, when you say we have to do it together, this opens a can of worms, because that statement tacitly pertains to this infamous Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, which is NATO's doctrine of collective defense. And it says, essentially says, attack against one member of the Atlantic Alliance, Germany, could be presented as an attack against all members of the Atlantic Alliance, leading humanity into a World War III scenario. And I have this gut feeling that that Germany, as a proxy of the United States of America, under the new chancellor, is going in a very dangerous road. First of all, impoverishing its population, accepting the legitimacy of the bombing of Nord Stream, but also this discourse could lead to the invocation of Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, and then we're really, that opens up a can of worms, okay, a Pandora's box, because that means that everybody is involved, and then you have a war between the United States and NATO and the Russian Federation on the grounds that Russia attacked Germany, okay? Some nonsensical statement of that order. I think it's important to address, let's say, the consequences of this act, this illegal act of sabotaging Nord Stream, and that is absolutely crucial, because that so-called secret operation has impoverished the German population. It has destabilized the German economy, and the fingerprints of that decision are Olaf Scholz, together with President of the United States, and they confirmed it. We can look at the documents, but the thing is that the attack is also an economic and social act of warfare against the European Union. Because why? What does it do? It pushes up energy prices. It triggers inflation. People are freezing. They can't pay their heating bills. And then we now have, as far as people in the European Union, I should quote the official sources, 28% of the total population are now categorized as being as living in energy poverty. I don't know what that term really means, because there have been poor people in the European Union even prior to energy poverty. And then you have, from one day to another, as you pointed out, your question, something of the order of 2.6 million small and medium-sized enterprises in Germany is what they call the Mittelstand. These are enterprises in small towns. I mean, people who have gone to Germany know that there are very few, in fact, large metropolitan areas, a bit like in the United States. They're small towns along the Rhine Valley and so on and so forth. And this Mittelstand of 2.6 million small and medium-sized enterprises, they account for something of the order of two-thirds of employment and about half of the GDP, and inevitably this is precipitating a wave of bankruptcies across the land. But I should mention that the wave of bankruptcies did not start with the hike in energy prices. The hike in energy prices is what has been occurring in the last, in the course of the last year, approximately. But we're going into the third year with the COVID crisis, and we know that the COVID crisis was also conducive to triggering the bankruptcy of companies, but specifically also small and medium-sized enterprises. Because what happened in March of 2020, that's we're going on 3 years. March of 2020, the confinement, the lockdown, meant confining the labor force on the one hand and freezing the workplace. Now, anybody who has done 101 economics knows that if you do that, you have a process of economic chaos, which was characterized by mass impacts, but specifically on small and medium-sized enterprises, but also on large enterprises. And that is happening all over the world. But then in addition to that, if we look at the European Union, we have now this manipulation of energy prices by preventing sovereign countries from purchasing cheap energy from the Russian Federation and the Middle East. And that is leading to exacerbating something which was already ongoing, and it hits both the big companies like Volkswagen or Siemens, who are now involved with problems of supply and distribution and so on, but it is also primarily hitting people from all walks of life, and specifically the million small and medium-sized enterprises, which are there, they're family-owned, and in many of them are deeply integrated into rural communities, the agriculture, the industry, and so on. And there we are. It's an act of war against, I would say it's an act of war against then humanity in its entirety, if we look at it in a longer term, starting with the COVID crisis. But in this particular case, it's a deliberate act to destabilize the economy of the European Union.